Mr. Mao?
Here.
Ms. Randolph?
Here.
Mr. Williams?
Here.
Let the record show that Mr. Shire has not arrived, and we have Attorney Randolph and Town Manager present, and Chairman Boardman.
Thank you. You received the minutes of the meeting of April 30th. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes?
Motion to approve. Second.
Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Are there any, we only have one item on the agenda, so it's hard to rearrange it, I guess. Are there any announcements? I have none.
I have none.
We have no members of the public, so I assume there are no communications. Are there any other communications from the public that we've
No.
received anyone? Okay.
Really? Nothing.
The item for consideration today is the proposed report that we would present to the commission tomorrow. There is absolutely no pride of authorship here. I wrote the textual portion of the draft, and Bill wrote the a section on outlining the specific areas. So what I would love to do at this point is receive your comments, suggestions as far as, we'll start off with the introduction, and then move to Bill's document. Now, there's got to be some improvement that can be made to the.
So are you gonna attach the letter that you sent out?
No, but that's a good idea, isn't it?
Yes.
Let's do that.
I told Mr. Boardman before the meeting that I just saw some typos that I'll ask you to correct before it goes out.
As best I can tell, Rita, it's a little hard. On Bill's document, I think there are 7 specific recommended changes.
Okay.
You have any feeling on that, Bill? They kind of blend together a little when you get with a design manual on the landscape thing.
Yes, yes.
So maybe.
I thought the intent was to try to, in some way, separate a landscape design on a redevelopment, and that which would be strictly a landscape project by an owner, so that we in some way trigger the need for review and permits for not, the level 2 and 3 is pretty standard, but it's not so standard if somebody wants to rip out all of their landscape and start all over again.
Let me let you in the pen here. No problem. I got a copy for you here.
We have moved through the agenda up to the point of the item of actual business. We just began looking at the draft of the report. Did you get a copy of that?
Unfortunately, my email was not working yesterday, so I couldn't get into the system. So I'm going to be reading it.
Okay, you might going through it while we. Well, Bill, let's hold on a minute and cover that when we cover your document. Okay.
Okay.
So that's a specific as to that. Let's deal with the textual first.
So you think that 6 might possibly be a 7?
Yeah, I think we'll confirm that as we go through this.
I see. I understand your comment.
Any other comments on the written text? All right, then, if there's a motion to approve that portion, the written textual introduction.
Can I ask one quick question?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
As I understand, the design manual is really used for professionals. but for the homeowner, I being one, I'm thinking that maybe it'd be nice to have a simpler document, or brochure with just an overview, maybe a little oral history, and then some sort of basic, permit procedures to follow. As you know, when I was redoing my kitchen, I didn't have a permit, and I came in, and I tore out this whole little kitchen. And 6 months later, I was back, up and running. So I think that's important for the homeowner to understand the process as well.
There used to be, first of all, we used to get a town booklet. Do we still get a town booklet?
No, there was too many changes going on so fast we couldn't keep up with it.
Well, as I recall, there was a reference in there to permits and the need for permits. It wasn't, I don't think it was as thorough as what Mrs. Randolph is suggesting. So there's some history to,
We try to keep calling attention in the newsletters when we send them out,
that's true.
but, they don't go out every month.
I do believe we have something on the website also.
Oh, that's probably it.
Yeah.
We probably do. I have absolutely nothing to do with that, so I don't know what to
Well,
tell
that'd
you.
be better. I mean, you would assume the general contractor or the contractors would know that they have to pull a permit to do the work.
That's true.
Well, unfortunately, the person I used was someone that has done a lot of work here, and I think he just thought he could scoot through it.
Yeah, that's it.
But,
You
you know.
know.
I said, what do you, she does look good.
I didn't say that, Rita did.
Anyway, he got caught on, but then I'm the one who suffered, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that's what, I think, the process, this is what one of the reasons we're talking about this.
If you did something like that, you'd have to be very general, because you don't wanna have any inconsistency
Right.
of what you might say in that to the homeowners and what you have. And there's an opportunity for that to happen if you have an additional summary manual that you send out to the homeowners. They'll either say, well, you didn't tell me about that, and there's something in your design manual that talks about that, or they might point out something that's inconsistent with it. It's really difficult to advise the homeowners of all of the detail that's involved, unless it's just, as Bill said, something on the website that says, please be advised that there is a design manual that you have to comply with before we.
But I'm new coming in here, I wouldn't know. I mean, I came from Long Island, and people had 5 or 8 acres, and you could do whatever you wanted, except for you put a big gate in front of your driveway. That would be, obviously, you weren't allowed to, unless you got a permit.
Yeah,
So I think people's mindset, when they come in here, or if they want to repaint their house right now,
yeah.
do they know they have to come and get a permit? Or not a
Oh,
permit,
yeah.
just a,
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, the oral telegraph does that very well.
but again, being new, if you're new, I don't,
Yeah,
that's where I'm coming from.
Oftentimes a project will grow. I mean, you go from replacing
Oh,
a
sure.
toilet
Right.
Yeah.
to a leaking vanity with no intent
Right.
on anything, and then all of a sudden you're redoing the bathroom, and you're halfway through, do you stop it? I mean, again, no ill intent, but sometimes that happens too, so.
I think most of the residents here are
Most people are
very,
They don't-
very knowledgeable
Okay,
about
Yeah.
the concepts. Now, how it's done here,
Yeah.
maybe not.
Yeah,
But, I mean, you walk up and down Polo Drive, everybody knows about permits, everybody knows about
yeah, but that's
neighborhood
really
hassles
not
as a
that great.
result of zoning and, I mean,
Well,
Okay,
I'm pretty sure there are several comments in different places on the website. You may want to look at it and critique it and send me your thoughts. And
Okay.
Do you
if
send
it doesn't
something out?
communicate well,
You send a letter out normally, monthly or something like that?
usually quarterly, a newsletter, and in that, we say the same thing.
Yeah, or refer them to the website,
Yeah.
to give a time.
yeah.
It's standard that in Florida, you pull permits to do work.
A general contractor.
General
process.
contractor, design professionals, they all understand this. I mean, I would never go to a job thinking I couldn't pull a permit, or that I had to pull a permit. It's part of the process.
Thank you for that comment.
you make that assumption and.
well, we kept asking, we said, no, you don't know, so we believe them.
Yeah.
Okay, so either one, but
No,
let's go.
no, I think it's communication. Communication's a good concept. I think what Skip said is right. very narrow line before the person goes, well, the way I read the little brief thing,
Right,
such and
right.
such. I'm just wondering if it just, we ought to communicate more in the normal communications. And, you know, the best way to communicate is to give examples of some places where someone, where people have tripped up without any indication of who they were. Oh, kitchen, never would have thought of that. Yeah. But no, I don't think there's anything wrong with maybe put some language, you know, I mean, I'm not sure, I'm also not sure what the last full paragraph does, at least communicate the spirit of that. You know, we need more communication on all these issues. And, may I add a sentence in here that says something about efforts might be made to, you know, communicate generally about requirements as deemed appropriate. Any other comments on this?
I thought it was very good.
How long did this take you?
That's what
You did very well.
well, I don't know, it's one of those things you sit down and sort of fell together. Okay, so at this point, we have a few grammatical changes that we'll get from Mr. Randolph, and we're changing, looks like changing 6 to 7, and I'll give you a sentence that picks up something more about communication. Okay.
Motion to approve?
Yeah, I think we're in the discussion phase, aren't we, of that? We have motions, do we have a motion, there's a motion, is there a second? Further discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Okay. Now, as to the list of items, let me start with my own questions, maybe others have the same. In the second one, the one dealing with the waiver, Bill, I wonder if we shouldn't put something in here that makes it clear that meeting the criteria of the waivers does not require that the architectural board and the commission grant a waiver. In other words, they still have full discretion. So that it's clear that someone can come in and say, look, I meet 1 through 5. You have to give me the waiver. In the next one,
Can I ask a question though, as you go down these? Are these intended to be the way that the ordinance would be rewritten, or are you allowing some discretion in regard to that? For instance, these 5 criteria that are in here are the 5 criteria that I sent to you, but when ultimately drafting the ordinance, I wouldn't want to necessarily be bound to that if I find another criteria. These are just,
it's not our objective here.
okay, your objective is just to.
Somewhere between here and approval by, in the first case, the Architectural Review and Planning Board, you know, once they have approved the concept, I would think at that point you'll.
Okay, so these are conceptual changes
Yeah.
for the most part?
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, they're some of them are pretty specific descriptions, but they're not meant to be code.
Okay.
Is that, everybody agree with that?
Yes.
If that's the way it is, or what?
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think that the changes that I'm highlighting now, I think need to be even in this conceptual stage. Because I think you don't want any misunderstanding that those waiver criteria are not 100% determinative. The other one, and Bill, I don't know, but my understanding of our fence decision is that we were talking about that area visible from the street. We're talking about that category.
Yes,
And is that dealt with by the reference to 6?
yes.
Okay, great.
Do you agree, Reed?
Yes.
Yeah, comment, section 70-187, fences says a minimum 2-foot high base planting. But should we, well, I think we talked about maintaining it at 36 inches or more. Meaning it can be planted at 24 inches, but it should be maintained at no less than 36 inches in height.
Yeah, no, that's good.
That's good.
That's good. I didn't have any comments. Maybe. Don't we need to add the cedar shakes somewhere? Did we not approve, I believe we approved
Yeah.
cedar shakes.
I think we did approve that. They weren't,
For the, just for the architectural style of British, whatever
It was
that
the
is.
second category, the colonial,
British colonial,
wasn't that it, man?
Yeah, it was like British West Indies. And the British West Indies will do it. Georgian, we were trying to allow, Georgian was not necessarily cedar shake. That was more with the
Red.
terracotta, reddish tile roofs. I'm just trying to think if there's a more broad description for
It fit right in after that phrase.
British West Indies.
It
It's
was-
not Dutch colonial because that's another,
No,
that's,
no.
that's not allowed.
that's not allowed. Keep putting it in there.
you mean the barn?
You can try it.
He wants that,
Try again.
he wants that darn Gamble Root barn.
Well, I think the shakes were going in under discouraged,
So you had to get approval.
yes.
Well, just,
Yeah.
Discouraged, but only in those architectural styles that you just mentioned.
No, where?
no, actually, what it was, what it was is I didn't want it to, I didn't want it to be
It's in
discouraged.
72.
Well,
Okay,
that's what
then
it did
that's
say,
from
not
two.
discouraged.
Right, because it actually enhances the value, the quality of certain types of architecture, so to give it a point against. Because the discouraged, you have 3 discouraged before
Well,
one.
that's
It's
right.
right,
You
not
didn't
this
want
minute,
three
you
in
did
or
one
out.
before,
Right,
Right.
not last week,
and
not,
that should, in a British West Indies, that should not be
Yeah,
discouraged.
you want my book?
I haven't.
Could you have the minutes from the 2 meetings back?
Well, I have them, but not with me. Let's see, the choices for architectural styles were Bermuda, Anglo-Caribbean, British colonial, Georgian, Spanish Mediterranean, and colonial West Indies.
Yeah, but in the section, you're not reading the section on roofs.
No, just
Yeah,
first the architectural
right.
styles that you wanted to allow shakes on. Not on Bermuda,
Yeah.
not on Spanish Mediterranean. Do they fit on colonial West Indies?
Yes, the broader term that I was looking for is Anglo-Caribbean.
All right, it's on, it's listed,
Is that one there?
yeah.
Okay.
And British Colonial, that's the other one that is on here. I don't know if shakes are appropriate on that.
It could be, I would.
Okay, so-
I mean, the specific label sometimes can be,
I think we discussed Gulfstream Bermuda homes, and then we would consider it for Georgian style homes. According to this. And we were not discouraged.
Well, we definitely weren't having them on Bermuda.
Maybe we should go get the minutes, I mean, we have
Well,
to
we've got the
declare
minutes
it.
here, and I think the important thing is to have you tell us which ones they ought to be applicable to. As you did during the meeting.
Yeah,
I apologize, this is my recall, it's not, thanks a lot.
What was the section you referenced, 71?
238, I think.
And that was the problem too, is that there was two
Right.
sections on roofs, so they weren't.
In front, exactly,
Oh.
which is,
Two sections on roof meaning,
And there was
the
one section.
typical architectural styles.
No, that's referenced two different places. That's, actually, you covered
that's
that.
in here somewhere.
You covered that in your recommendation, but there needs to be
Oh, yeah,
consistency
yeah,
and
yeah.
reconciliation
That was back at this one.
between the general and the specific, you know, where you want to see that metal roofs are not permitted. You have to
All
go
areas,
back
yeah,
to the general section where they're listed
Yeah.
as prohibited.
What's the date on that one?
I think we did do this.
Okay, you're right, and then Keith, thanks for bringing it to my attention, yeah, it was recorded that I said for Georgia style homes it would be fine, which it would be, but I would go on to add Anglo-Caribbean and British West Indies to it, which it's even stronger for those styles, the shake.
Do you have it?
yeah, Anglo-Caribbean, British West Indies.
And British West Indies and Georgian, you can use the acronym either forwards or backwards of BAG for bag or GAB for gab.
Okay,
Okay, so you will add,
that would be cedar shakes, correct?
Yes.
Allowed.
and then you'll add that. I don't know whether, I would suggest that's probably separate, probably another recommendation. You know, it's different than dark colored tiles and so forth.
Well, that dark colored tiles, I think, is specific to style as it relates to the two general categories, primary categories.
Well, we even identified where we thought that ought to go in. So let's just add another one after that, about the cedar shake, keep it separate, because it's not quite so specific as to where it goes and how. So I just add a separate recommendation for recommending that cedar shakes be, what do we say, discouraged, or we get them to the.
I'd say they're discouraged except to the exceptions of those architectural styles.
well, you don't wanna allow them at all on Bermuda.
No,
do
see,
you?
that's what, yeah,
No,
that, you don't wanna do that.
Okay.
What?
Currently they're just discouraged. Or I'm sorry, I'm not remembering today.
Well, they're
The-
prohibited now.
Oh, okay, then which case then, we should make it that they're already allowed in the instances of those three architectural styles.
Where do you say cedar is discouraged? I should know this answer, but I'm not sure I do. I'm trying to, I thought it would be good to go to the general section on roof, 70-99, where we say prohibited gambrel roofs. We could add terminology, prohibited cedar roof, and then parens except these three. And then,
Good.
and then tie that in, cross-reference it in the other sections of code where applicable, if applicable. But that way you draw attention to cedar roofs cedar shakes are prohibited except for.
That's a nice clear way of doing it. if that, methodology is fine, in terms of the legalese of it.
Well, that gets,
I think if you look at,
I
how it
get
gets,
you.
puts it together.
it's.
70-99. 3.
Okay. So those are the comments I had, so if you all would now share any observations or comments you have around the table. I'll give you a minute more to look at it.
I just have a question on the criteria for allowing waivers. In the definitions section of the code, is there a definition of variance?
Yes.
Is there a definition for waivers?
No,
No,
we're adding them.
that's what this is.
Okay, I guess this is under the definition, or is this then subsequently the ones describing further in detail the waiver?
Well, we
Action.
have to look at the full context, but I think it's appropriate to talk about waivers specifically here, rather than talk about it in the general zoning ordinance, because we want to make sure that everybody understands that in most instances, they have to get a variance from the provisions of the code. But here, there will be an exception from the design manual, probably, I don't know, I haven't looked at where this is fitting in with the design manual, and that's why I asked the question earlier, are you gonna allow me the flexibility to see where to put this and come up with the final wording? But what is your suggestion in that respect?
I just know sometimes when working with manuals and guidelines, definitions is a great source to like just start off with
At the beginning?
Right.
at the beginning and like, okay, I'm allowed a variance if such and such. Oh, there's a provision for a waiver.
Good
And then I
point.
read the definition and just, in terms of process from my end, it's easier if I can find it. Because it'll either show me that there's a door, there's a door that may be open or may not be open early on. Where if this is buried in there and I didn't even know there was a waiver available,
Good point.
it may take someone a while to stumble upon it.
I think we really want to leave the final. Skip's got to make this all fit.
I don't see a definition section, oh yeah,
66 one.
no, in 70 though, in chapter
No.
7.
No,
Nothing.
There's not a
nothing
definition
inside.
section in this design manual. Okay.
we always refer back to the definitions in 66 when
Uh-huh.
we got a question.
Okay, well, I'm glad to hear that, because that gives me,
Just for what it's worth, I would come to the opposite conclusion. Since it applies only to the design manual, why shouldn't it just be referred to in the design manual? They're gonna be in there dealing with the issue that they might get a waiver on anyway. Otherwise, they may think that the waivers apply more generally.
I can respectfully
You know,
acknowledge that, because then suddenly it's like you can go into whole other aspects of the code rather than the design manual.
So anyway, we'll leave that. Good. Other comments?
My only other comment, going back to the fences again, was, we're maintaining a 75% open view in the front of the homes. Should we make a note about the fences that they need to be transparent? 6-foot-high aluminum fence could be a solid fence. Is that?
If it was aluminum, like that, aluminum rail,
Well, maybe it should be open rail or something, just.
isn't that what
I
we?
think we used aluminum rail.
Well,
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine, just.
No, but, we've had arguments about
What's open?
what's open. And you can literally have
Louvers that are
Louvers.
open.
that block the view. So
But doesn't the word rail take care of that?
well, I
Or
don't
do you want to
know.
use the term
Can a
picket?
rail be greater
Or the
in
turn
width?
rail louvers.
Open picket rail, open picket, open rail, open picket.
I think the word open would be, we don't have the word open in there now.
No.
If there's false louvers and open louvers, I mean, functional louvers, even though they're fixed, it's open for air to go through. that rail,
That'd be very
Further defines
expensive
it.
though. I mean, you would think some
No,
people
it
would not
definitely
do
would be, I just.
oh, yeah. Yeah, open rail.
particularly in
I
that
think
district.
the word open in there would give the code enforcement officer a pretty good argument if it was solid. And as you say, it'd be very expensive.
Something that's very expensive. And they wouldn't be meeting the 75%.
True, that's it.
That reminds me, there's a reference in here to no further forward than the front of the, what is that?
Maybe the open front yard or there is a definition.
Such fencing would not extend beyond the applicable outer face of the structure.
Yeah. That ties into, I think,
Well, that keeps me, does that keep me from running it down the side lot line in front of my house?
if it's open from view, yeah, it wouldn't go beyond the base of the structure. Why, in that district?
I thought we were saying that you could have a 6-foot fence out to the right-of-way line if it met this requirement.
No, that's not what but maybe that's what you mean, we don't have open fences, we don't have fences, I'm thinking Los Alamos, we don't have fences beyond the front face of the building anywhere.
Well, then what's this all about? They can have a fence in the backyard anyway.
No, it's talking about
As seen from the street.
from the street.
Yeah, so,
But you're allowed to have fencing on the sides and the rear of the property.
Yes.
Yes, and different heights than what we're talking, well, not
right.
the same height. Yes, and,
But they're not limited to open rail fences, they could be.
yeah,
there could be.
In the back, around the backyard.
So was it the intent of this group to allow 6-foot fences out to the right-of-way line or not?
I was under the assumption it was to allow fences across the front of the property.
Well,
Instead of to the right-of-way line.
I thought, I was under the impression that it was maybe a 6-foot fence that came instead of parallel with the front plank of the house.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
Not to the front of the property.
Right.
I'm glad I
Yeah.
brought this up.
No, it's-
I'm sorry you did. I will just,
Are you talking about anywhere in town, or are you talking,
Yeah, I thought, I thought it went
just Plaza Solis?
I thought it went further out other than a return to the house. I thought it went further out too.
I thought I thought that was the whole issue. They wanted to put
Right.
6-foot fences out to the right-of-way line, potentially on both sides, so potentially across the front,
Right.
except, how do you think?
The right of way line, though, that can be,
That could be 10 feet from the road,
Yes.
could be 15.
could be 15.
I thought it was just from the corners of the house across to the side property line.
The front building line?
Yes.
Trying to find a definition of front building.
Well, that's why I brought up the open rail, because I was thinking it was coming up.
Yeah,
Front of the house.
I thought that was all.
because I always assumed that you were allowed to return to your house.
I
as
did
part of
too.
a-
That was
as
part
of
of
a
it,
normal
yeah. But we said-
fencing, yeah.
Exactly, we talked a little bit about where on the house it had to touch. Whether it could come all the way out to the very front of the house, or if it should be mid-house, or whatever.
I think that's why we're so strict on the open rail, that we didn't want a solid wall out on
Yeah,
the right of way line.
Which is the way, but I thought we were agreeing that you could have your 6-foot fence if it was open aluminum rail run all the way out to your front property.
This is the street.
I think that's clearly what they wanted.
Right, exactly. Some, I mentioned about dogs or something.
And you said PT Road, you believe that we were taking it all the way to the, if this is the street, and this is the front property line,
Right.
you were thinking that it would go all the way, possibly up to here?
To the right-of-way line.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, okay. Because my impression was that Pasta Soleil was characteristic like in lawns.
That's exactly
You're gonna
right.
change it.
And that's why,
That's
And
exactly
that's why
right.
I thought that we were saying that one had to come back, and it was basically to the front plane of the house, and maybe we weren't clear in this, or, you know, if there's gonna be some allowance, maybe it can come back and, you know, come a bit forward to sort of frame the house in that manner, where we would possibly put a limitation on where it would be in front of it. Because the risk of bringing a fence all the way 6 feet across the front is, it would be a huge change.
Well, that's what I was thinking, the right of way line, it should be at least step back 5,
Oh, yeah.
10, 15 feet.
But
But then
it
you,
is-
then you have your walkway, your driveway, and, you
Yeah.
know, how they, someone, I'm sure there's an exception where it could look nice, but most of the time it probably wouldn't. But,
From the emails I was reading, people wanted to secure the front of the house.
Mhm.
Right.
Pets, animals, dogs, whatever. People.
I mean, that's what it was all about. Right today, they can bring it, have a 6-foot fence in the backyard, and they can bring it up to a point on the house, and then it crosses over to the house, and the requirement in the crossover has to be metal.
4 feet.
But today,
Yeah.
Today, it's 4
Um,
feet. And it was my understanding that they wanted that area that was required to be 4 feet to be elevated to 6 feet, which would mean across to the corner of the house, visible from the street.
Well, then, the way Bill has written it is the right way.
you read
And
the
it's
emails,
certainly, I think, a more desirable solution from a personal aesthetic perspective.
I agree with that.
So if that is what those references to 6-foot high fences in the front of the area, if that's what that's relative to, if we're gonna make all those people happy by letting them extend a 6-foot fence across to the house,
I can't
I
remember
feel much
any,
better about that recommendation than.
I can't remember any problem wanting a 6-foot fence other than that area from the side lot line to the corner of the house.
that's how this actually
Came up.
got started. By a wooden fence without a permit, installed across, from the side fence or side lot and attaching to the front. Actually, it was in the middle of the, structure, but
No, that's much better.
All right,
That makes it
I
easier.
entertain a motion to clarify it, make it that way?
I thought, I was on the side of it being off the house.
Yeah.
I never thought it was in the
If
front.
that satisfies the concern, I think it's a much better solution,
I agree with that.
speaking personally.
so you're saying the way it's written is okay?
Yeah,
Well done.
yeah.
What's
You're
that?
gonna,
I've never heard that in a long time.
let the record indicate we said that Mr. Thrasher.
Well done. No, I think you better not.
You won't need a motion if you're just accepting
Yeah.
what's in there.
So we're gonna
Accepting the
say
way it's
said
written
fencing
now.
would not extend beyond the applicable outer face of the structure, but we're gonna add the word open in there somewhere. Probably don't need a motion for that, but. Why don't we have one just in case somebody's scrutinizing it?
Simplifies.
So,
Yeah.
moving on.
Motion to add the word open to rail fences.
Second.
Any discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. And leave it as written otherwise. Excellent. Okay, any more comments?
You're smiling, Ben. That worries me.
There's an old saying, when you have the order, leave.
You could have used that expression earlier.
Sounds like a military.
Okay, no further comment?
I'm just gonna ask Keith, because you're the expert on plant material, are you comfortable with, you know, the way it's been updated? Does it incorporate some of the comments from the books that you're recommending, or?
didn't see anything that was an issue for me.
Yeah, you've got the water management district, program.
Yeah, we added
Yeah,
that.
great.
Just
Great.
reference material.
Thanks for that, Phil.
Okay, is there a motion to approve Bill's list as so changed?
Make a motion?
Second,
Make a second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great. Well, a word of thanks to all of you. Very much appreciate what you've done, and I think it's a worthwhile effort, and we've made a few changes, and I think, as I said in that material, I think one thing the whole process has proven is that we do have a good design manual, and people,
There were a few
People really-
changes for the most part, some tweaks, and that's it.
we did not have an outpouring of.
Remember the Civic Association up in Palm Beach, they were saying how good it was.
Yeah, exactly, we were up there this week. man.
Would you say that?
Today's your birthday.
Is Marty Minor's landscape proposal to be attached to this as well? for all the
Well, it's
documents?
incorporated word for word.
Yes,
Oh,
that's
okay,
pages
okay.
out of it. yeah.
Okay.
Anything from the staff?
Thank you
Yes, that
very
you've
much.
all been very helpful and cooperative and congenial.
Yeah.
Don't
Very,
call
very
us,
good.
we'll call you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I have no doubt.
She put in here that, don't even have any thoughts of reconvening this. Don't waste your time.
You might state for the record that this is the last meeting in case there's any questions as to whether or not this is, I mean, are you gonna remain as an ad hoc committee?
No,
No?
we'll make that decision.
Honestly, it's been an honor also, to help out.
Thank you.
Well, you professionals have been
Very.
Yeah.
instrumental in this.
It's true.
Very helpful. No, seriously, I think we deem our work complete.
Okay.
You want these books
Does
back?
that
or
allow
can we
us to
keep-
talk now?
I'd like to keep it, yeah.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion?
Second? All in favor?
Aye. Okay.
That's it, I wanted that on.
Shut
No,
this
sir.
mic off.
What time's the meeting tomorrow?
Are we allowed to talk
9:30.
about members how